Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. So in today's video, I'm going to show you 3 patriotic DIYs that I did for free. Now, it's free to me because I used scrap wood for my scrap piles, and of course I have all the paint and materials on hand. So hopefully you have the same materials as well. So let's get started with the first. So with this DIY, we are going to be doing wooden tags. So I've already cut these. These are just a 1x4 board that I cut down to 7.5 inches, and then I did a 45-degree miter on each side and then drilled a hole in the center. So what I want to do with these is I cut this template out. I actually used leftover contact paper that I purchased a long time ago from Walmart. I ran this design through my Silhouette Cameo and printed that out. So what we're going to do is one sign will be a red, and this is a crimson I'm going to use in acrylic paint. One will be blue. And then of course one is going to be white, and I'm going to use my homemade chalk paint that I've had for a million years in this yucky container, but the paint is still good. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try this antiquing glaze on each one of these and try to use it as a stain. After I've done that, I'm going to brush on some acrylic paint and see how that works. I've seen folks use this before, like watered down as a stain, and it dries obviously quicker than an oil-based stain. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. It was kind of neat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually have a fan going right now, and I'm just going to set these in front of the fan so they can dry. Okay, so our pieces are pretty dry here. So I'm just going to take some of my homemade chalk paint, and then I'm just going to start wisping it on the piece of wood. Okay, so now I'm going to let all of these dry completely, because what I think I'm going to do, because I do want this kind of rough, rustic look, and I really can't get that with acrylic paint. It's just not the right medium to just dry brush on, that I'm finding. Of course, I don't use it often. I'll probably go out and just give these a sand along the edges so I can get that our faux stain to kind of poke through. Okay, I went outside and sanded these. I did take off the stain underneath, but I'm just going to do the same technique right directly over the color and the sanded parts, and then just wipe it back. I think it actually gives it a better red tone too, more rustic. I'm gonna do the same thing with the blue. So I sanded this one. Not sure if it's just too, yeah, we're gonna do it. There we go, that's not bad. That looks pretty cool. Now we're just gonna go ahead and Mod Podge again. Okay, Mod Podge is drying. I'm gonna go ahead and start dry brushing. Okay, these are just about dry, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take off the tape. Now I'm gonna go outside and distress the white a bit. Okay, so I have these two distressed with the white. And now I'm just gonna add in some of this antiquing glaze. So now what I did was I have these washers and I'm gonna just put them over the hole, and I'm gonna use this Fix-All adhesive to glue it on here. It should dry within the next 10 minutes or so, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now if you use this, make sure you're in a well ventilated area because it stinks very bad for it. Okay, now I'm going to put a piece of twine in here. And there we are. And you can go ahead and tie them up at the end with a knot and hang them any way you'd like. Okay, now we're on to DIY number 2. So for this project, I have 2x2 boards that I had left over from a previous project. I cut them down 8 inches, 6 inches, and then 4 inches. And then I drilled a hole in the top of each one. And then again, I took that Walmart contact paper and I made stripes and I made stars. And we're gonna use this on our 2x2s. We're gonna start off by doing the same method that we did with the antiquing glaze. Except we're gonna use paint, and this is what I have. I have a Behr paint. It is a flat paint, and it's a gray color. It's just a sample size, and it's called dark pewter. So I had that lying around, and I added a whole bunch of water to the paint, and then we're gonna use this just like a stain. And you know, this actually almost reminds me of the classic gray stain by Minwax. Also going to, after I put it on, I'm going to wipe it off with a paper towel. That way I can still see that nice wood grain. I'm gonna do this to all 3 of the boards. Okay, so now these are fully dry. We're going to start to apply some of our decals that we make. So I'm just going to take my stickers and just kind of randomly, okay, so that disappears in there. I hope you can see it. I'm just gonna randomly stick these large stars. Now that I have all my stars stuck on there, hopefully you can see them okay. Whoops. I'm going to go ahead and use Mod Podge again and Mod Podge around all of these stars. Hopefully if they stick. And then we're gonna let the Mod Podge dry, and then we'll move on to the next step for this one. Okay, well that one is drying. I'm going to take these long pieces and start wrapping them around the piece of wood. Then I'm just going to use this piece here, wrap it around right next to the other one. But this piece is just going to remain my spacer. So I'm going to take another piece of tape, set it next to this one, and continue to roll. Just make this one shorter. There we go. Gonna make sure, this is gonna help us make sure that our lines are the same thickness going all the way down. So what we're doing here is we are creating stripes. Okay, we're going to do the same thing that we did with the stars, and we're going to Mod Podge all the way around the piece of wood and over the vinyl or contact paper, if you will. Okay, so with the smaller one here, this is going to actually take 2 separate steps. So the first step being, okay, so my camera died on me, sorry. So on this next step, what we're going to do is we're going to add 4 of the large stars, 1 on each side at the top. And then we're going to take one of the strips, and I'm going to add it to the bottom of the stars going all the way around. This is going to be done in 2 different steps. So I'm just going to Mod Podge again, just around the top. Okay, we'll let that dry. Okay, so now that this is dry, I'm just gonna take some white paint and I'm going to dry brush some white paint all over this piece of wood, all over the stars. We'll wait for that to dry, and then we can take off the stars and see what it looks like. Okay, and this one is all nice and dry. We're gonna do the same thing. Okay, this one is all dry, and we're going to dry brush the top white. Okay, looks like this one's dry, so next what we're going to do, well, I guess we can peel away all of it. It doesn't really matter at this point. Yeah, it'll probably be best to peel away all of it. All right, that looks kind of cute. All right, so now we're gonna do the step 2 to this one. So I'm gonna take another one of our strips, but this time I'm gonna put it here above this line. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do our best to find the center, and we're going to put a stripe going down the center. Line it up as best as you can. Okay, now we're going to Mod Podge yet again all over the bottom part of this board. Okay. So this one's dry. We're gonna do dry brush on this. Okay, we'll let that one dry. Okay, all dry. We get to remove the little stars. There's that one. Just make sure you get all the stars removed. And I think that's so cool looking. Now let's get to the other ones. There we go. How pretty are these? I actually really like them. Okay, time to tear off the tape on this one. That one's cute too. Okay, so now we have all 3 of them here, and what we're gonna do with the hole that we drilled, we're actually gonna put some twine in there so they kind of look like little firecrackers. All right, look at that, they're done. How cute is that? Okay, last but certainly not least, DIY number 3. So for this one, I created a design on my Silhouette Cameo, and then this time I used my Oracle vinyl. And I also have a board that I pre-stained with Early American Minwax stain. And now what I'm gonna do is peel off this transfer tape and vinyl from the backing, and we're gonna place it onto our board. Okay, once we have this on the wood, I'm just gonna make sure all the corners are pressed down nice and flat. It's a little bit more difficult to adhere a vinyl to wood that has been stained with oil-based stain. So just keep that in mind if you ever do it. So now I'm gonna do one of my tricks that I showed you before in one of my last videos, so we don't get paint bleed. I'll link that video down below if you need a more detailed description of how to do that. Okay, so now we can wait for that to dry. Okay, the Mod Podge is all dry, and I'm just going to take some of my white chalk paint, and I'm gonna paint over the whole board. And I will do most likely just 2 coats. Final coat is dry. And I'm not going to do such a heavy coat because I'm going to distress this once I get the vinyl off. All right guys, here it is all sanded. It looks so cool. And I have to just do this. I have to put this watered down antiquing wax over it. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm totally obsessed over this today. All right, next step with this one. So I'm going to, looking at wrapping some twine around this on each side. Here and here, just to kind of finish it off. There it is. I think it looks awesome. I'm loving it. Well guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. And hey, let me know which DIY you like the best. DIY number 1, DIY number 2, or DIY number 3. Let me know below. And if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. It truly helps our channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're reminded every time we upload a video. And believe me, you don't want to miss the next video that Chris and I have coming up for you. We're gonna be building something really cool and you're gonna wanna see it. So stay tuned. But until then, bye everyone. Okay, I'm going to share with you guys a little secret. Well, not really a little secret, but a little tip. So as you can see, I have my stencils cut out, like they're the same size, same box around it and everything. There's a reason why I do that, because when you're applying a stencil on a piece of wood, you want your stencil to be straight. So what I do is I actually measure. So what I did with these, on my Silhouette Cameo, you can make little boxes or whatever to be cut out. So what I did with this is I measured from the hole to the bottom of the tag and then side to side. So that's how I came up with my square. And then I just centered my word, or I put my star. My star came down further because that's where I want it, but I just kind of put whatever design that I have inside of that square. When it comes out, obviously it's going to cut the square out and then it's going to cut your design. So then I take my stencil, and there's no guesswork for me. I don't have to measure my wood and make marks on my wood to lay my stencil straight and things like that. It's already cut out, it's already there, it's already measured, I slap it on and it's already straight. So hopefully that's a little time saver for you guys out there that use a Cameo or a Cricut.